had a friend the other day ask me, how do I pick a foundation for me? And I said, okay, what's your undertone? She looks at me like she just saw a ghost. And I'm like, do you know your undertone? She looks at me and says, what is an undertone? Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the first of many. So we are going to be doing basic makeup techniques and knowledge on them. And I'm not sure what I'm going to call this series yet. It might be like makeup school or beauty basics or something like that. But today's video is going to be the first, and it is going to be on finding your skin undertone, as well as how to match your foundation, whether you're a woman that struggles with this or whether you're a man trying to pick something out for your significant other or even yourself. That's what this video is going to be on. So if you need help with that or you have questions, keep on watching. So I am not a professional makeup artist in real life or here on YouTube, and I do not claim to be. I have done makeup in photography settings, but usually it's for a friend or family member or a client, and I don't do this as a full-time job. I don't do it as a part-time job. I just do makeup for fun. These are techniques that I have learned over the years, whether it's from OG YouTubers like Michelle Phan or newer YouTubers like Wayne Goss, or professional makeup artists that share their tips and techniques like Bobby Brown or Robert Welsh here on YouTube. So this is my knowledge, and that is what I'm sharing with you. So I'm going to start with the basics of finding your undertone. And there's a ton of different diagrams on the internet about this, and I'm going to share those tips with you, as well as something that I learned from Robert Welsh. And I think that it's very important to know your undertone, but also training your eye to know which foundations and products are going to work for your skin. I can walk into a drugstore and know instantly if a foundation is going to look good or bad on me. And that's something that's really important with makeup and doing your own makeup or even doing a client's makeup. So all of this goes back really into color theory and the three basic primary colors, which is red, blue, and yellow. Then you have your shades of white and dark. White, black. So light and dark. And that is how all colors are made up. And your undertone is no different than that. So it's finding out, are you more pink based, which is red, or are you more yellow based, or are you somewhere in the middle? And that is what determines your undertone. Are you cool, warm, or neutral? And from there, you can go to find your foundation shade, which incorporates the light and the dark. Are you very, very pale like myself, almost to the white end of the spectrum? Are you very dark? Are you medium toned? This is just a diagram showing you some of the traits that your undertone can have, and it also has a sample of the foundations. So as far as basic techniques to find your undertone, the first thing is your veins, the paper trick, jewelry, and then foundation. So let's get into it. If your veins, when you look at your hands, or if you look at your legs, or wherever your veins are in your skin, do they lean blue or do they lean green? So if you are blue-based veins, you have cool undertones. If you have green veins, you have a warm-based undertone. If you really can't tell, you might be neutral undertoned. Sometimes your face always isn't the best picture. For instance, I have hyperpigmentation in my cheeks. Today, it really isn't that bad, but you can see where the pink stops around my chin area, and it goes to my undertone, my natural skin. And then my neck is kind of just pale. It's not pink, it doesn't have any discoloration. So sometimes matching your foundation to your face probably isn't the best idea. That's also why I wore a black shirt for this video. I didn't want a color to skew it. So the first trick I mentioned is your veins. If you're blue or green. On my arms, it's really, really hard to tell, but I have a vein situation on my foot, and I can follow my veins all the way up my body. I am that pale. I can see every single color, and mine tend to look blue in certain lightings, and they tend to look green in certain lightings, and it really just depends whether it's an arm, a hand, a leg vein, that they differ. Example is that this one looks green, the one in my arm, but all of the veins on my legs are blue, like so blue, it's totally obvious. If you struggle with this like I do, there are diagrams online you can use. However, sometimes this isn't the most accurate technique. If you keep watching, I will show you how to match foundation. Next trick is jewelry, and this is done by, does silver look better on you or does gold look better on you? To show you this, I'm just using whatever earrings I have here in my beauty room. The necklace I wear every day is kind of like a dual toned necklace. It looks silver in certain lightings, but it looks gold. From far away, it definitely looks, at least the chain looks gold and the letters look silver. But it really just depends on the lighting. Today, the chain looks gold and the words look silver. But I wear this every day because it's my name and my adoptive mom gave it to me, so I try to never take it off. A good example of this is, does gold suit your skin tone better? Does the gold pop on your skin tone? Or does the silver pop on your skin tone? For me, silver pops on my skin tone, and you can see that when I turn my head. The gold kind of gets lost in my skin tone, whereas the silver against my skin tone really pops. And you can definitely see that the silver flatters me and my paleness and all that is pink about me. The silver looks best on me, but I can definitely pull off both. Next one, which I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but I remember when OG YouTubers were about, this is how I found mine. And it's by taking a piece of white paper, pink paper, and yellow paper, and you hold it up to your skin tone and determine which one looks closer to the paper. Or if you hold white paper up to your face, what color do you tend to reflect more? So in natural sunlight, I don't have my blinds open. This is what white looks against my skin tone. Another trick I forgot to mention is that you can pay attention to if your skin handles the sun. So if you burn easily, then you are cool toned. If you tan in the sun, then you are warm toned. I can walk outside with SPF 50 on, be out there for 5 minutes and come back like a lobster. I burn. And when the burn goes away, I don't tan. I just stay pale. Always. And something to mention as well is, what colors do you look best in? For me, green makes me look beautiful, and so does certain shades of red. And that is more complementary to cool toned, whereas yellow makes me look really washed out and like an Oompa Loompa. For me, those 3 tricks can kind of leave beginner makeup artists or beginner makeup enthusiasts confused, because you really don't know what you are. And the best thing you can do is get samples from Sephora, Ulta, a place that does makeup, and figure out which one suits you best. So I'm gonna use a Sigma F75 concealer brush and show you some examples of different foundations on my skin. So for example purposes, before I actually apply the colors to my face, this is a handy color wheel that shows you different undertones, and you can study something like this and figure out how colors appear, whether they appear more peachy, more neutral, more warm, and you'll see this when I start applying them to my face as well. Okay, so I swatched some foundations on the side of my face, and the first one that I have is the Hourglass Vanish Foundation Stick in the color Alabaster, and that is this one. And this is a neutral based stick foundation. The next one beside it is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Snow, which is cool toned. The next one is the Hourglass Vanish Stick in Porcelain, and I had to use that F57 to get it out because this one came melted. So I can still get the product out, I just can't use the stick. The next one is a drugstore one. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Porcelain. So this is kind of, they don't have undertones for their foundation range. So you kind of have to do the guesswork and look at the product in the tube and guess if it will match your skin tone. And the last one is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in Light Ivory, and it says fair with golden undertones. So this is the only one that I have that is kind of yellow, and that's because this was the only pale shade that my drugstore had. And I actually had to buy it at TJ Maxx, which is kind of sad. But you can see, looking at this yellow toned is not for me. You can see that it is so yellow against my skin tone, even when you blend it down into my neck, that it's gonna appear yellowy. It's not gonna blend in. So if you take that Wet n Wild one, that one's a little bit better. It leans towards the pink side, and you can see that one blends in better. The next one is the Hourglass one, which is the neutral. And you can see that that one blends in just seamlessly into my skin. Next up is Snow by Too Faced, and I bought Snow because the other shades kept selling out and it was just so hard to get the neutral. So when in doubt, I know that I'm way more cool toned than I am warm toned, so I got the cool shade. Then lastly, you have the Hourglass Vanish Stick in Alabaster, which is the neutral. No, which is the cool toned one. Porcelain's the neutral one. And you can see when you blend those in, I put way too much e.l.f. one on, that the cool tone ones blend better and match me better than, say, the yellow toned. But I know from wearing these every day that this neutral undertone one is the best match to my skin tone. And it just blends into the skin absolutely incredibly. And I will say, don't always rely on a makeup counter to foundation match you. I went at the age of 17 with my dad and got matched by a MAC makeup artist. She based me on the warm toned spectrum in the, I don't know if it's NC or NW because MAC always confuses me, but it was the 10 shade. No, it was a 15 shade, but I'm actually a 10. So it was too dark and it was the wrong undertone and I had to use it up. It was a hot mess. Now I'm gonna go in with this Makeup Revolution SFX palette. I did a giveaway on this on Instagram and Dig Dags won it. So congratulations to her for winning my Halloweeny giveaway with the face palette. I'm gonna take the colors in this and show you using the red, the yellow, the cream tone, the black, and the white, how you can match your undertone. So I'm gonna start with yellow because I know that I am not yellow based. When you put yellow on my skin, you can see right away it does not match. Whereas let's take this bright red, which blends out easier. You can see looking on my skin that that yellow just does not belong. And I'm gonna blend them together. So now I have a giant red dot on my face. Now, if we were to take the white, which isn't very pigmented, but I mean, it is a white. And I'm gonna have to use a lot of this white because when I buy the palest foundation shade, it still does not match. It just doesn't. We're getting there slowly. I'm gonna keep adding white. So in person, that is actually a little bit too light, but it blends in seamlessly. And I am using face paint, so I'm not expecting this to help my pores. So you can see, based on that other cheek, that my foundation shade is somewhere in that region with a little bit of pink, a little bit of yellow, and a ton of the white shade. Now, let's say, for instance, we added a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of black. That is how you're gonna get medium to dark skin tones. And it's just not gonna work. For some reason, that emphasized the contour in my face. And it may have been because I blended it out already, but now I have a giant purple dot on my face. So if you're darker toned, black and whether you're yellow or red is gonna really show you. Like red creates purple when you mix red and black together. It creates that darker berry toned, whereas yellow, you're not gonna get that. So I created essentially my foundation shade using this. But let's say for fun purposes, we're gonna take the yellow on the other cheek and make a yellow based foundation. And I'm wiping off my fingers on a makeup remover in between these. And then let's add some white. Now, if I wanted to look like a clown, which most people where I live in high school is what they looked like, I would wear this all over my face. But let's say for demonstration purposes, I blend it out with more white. You can see that does not look good, and it's very yellow. But because I can go kind of both ways, that yellow doesn't look terribly awful. Similar to my jewelry, the gold and the silver did not look awful. You can see that yellow doesn't look terribly awful. In person, you can definitely see the yellow, but you can see that I don't look terribly bad. It just looks a little off. And whereas the pink just blends in flawlessly. Now, if you were to switch these, you can see that the gold still doesn't really go with the pink and the silver doesn't really go with the yellow. But if you switch them, if I can stop dropping this hoop, that just plays off of each other so well. And that's how undertones work. So finding yours may be tricky. It might be even trickier to find out if you're neutral, which I think is because, for instance, pink and yellow could look good on you, or, you know, vice versa. Or you can't tell the color of your veins. It gets very confusing, which is why the best thing is playing with foundations. And that is also why I ordered two, because either one was sold out or because I can see based off the neutral one and the cool toned one, which one looks best for my skin. And that is why. You can also kind of figure this out with foundation samples. So this is the Born This Way concealer, and I know my shade, but for demonstration purposes, I will show you. So this comes with Swan, Porcelain, Nude, Natural Beige, Sand, Butterscotch, Chestnut, and Cacao or Cocoa. Now, I like using the darker shades in these for contouring or bronzing because I am so pale, but you could also take one of these, and whether you're applying it or holding it up, you can see the different undertones. So for me, I know that either Porcelain or Swan is going to be the best for my skin tone because I'm light and these shades don't work for me. So then it's finding out, is this pink porcelain shade better or is the neutral white one better? And for me, with my skin tone, this lightest one is going to be best because this one you can see maybe just a little bit too dark by looking in the pan, and it's very, very pinky compared to the other one. And you can see that dual undertone very slightly. This one's more peachy and this one's more not peachy. Oh, you can definitely see it on the side. So I would pick this shade Swan if I was swatching out of this limited selection. Now, if you buy a foundation that is too dark or too light for you, you can fix it by buying a darker shade and mixing it into the light. Some people have to do that for their shade to find the correct shade, or you could buy a white foundation. So you could, I have this Total Control drop foundation by NYX that is white, and they do, I think they do make black, but I bought this because I had a Tarte foundation, the Rainforest of the Sea one, and I had this e.l.f. foundation that are just they're too dark for me. So I gave one of them away, and that was before I bought this product. But now I can take the white and drop it into a foundation that is too dark for me. So I'm gonna go back to this Too Faced concealer. I'm gonna go in with Natural Beige, which is the darker, like medium toned one. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of this on the back of my hand and show you. So, you apply this on your face, you apply it on your hand, and you can see that is straight up orange on me. Like, maybe if I had a tan, which I don't tan, so you take this white, let's start with 2 drops, because I am very pale, and you blend that in. And you can see that that is just straight up white. So a little bit goes a long way. And then this undertone would need to match your skin, which I can already tell it's way too yellowy. It's also too dark still. And you can blend this out. So this is still not light enough. So let's do one more drop. And again, it's still too dark, but it's getting there. And essentially you would just keep adding white to match it to your foundation shade. And that's how you can combat that. If you bought a product that's too dark or too light for your skin tone, darken it up, lighten it up, make it work. Don't waste your hard-earned money I know I didn't, which is why I bought that white dropper for emergencies, where I bought a product that didn't match my skin tone. So I hope that helped you determine your undertone and picking a foundation. You can match it on the back part of your jawline, which is where you don't get a lot of sun or hyperpigmentation like my cheeks. And doing from here to here will really help, because I find that my face is just the slightest darker than my neck. And I usually have to find something that's paler than what I think to match down my neck. Now, some makeup artists will say you can use bronzer or something like that. But for me, when I'm rushing or just trying to go to work, I don't have time to bronze every day. So finding a foundation that matches my ears and my neck is really important to me. And that is the best way that I swatch foundation and recommend it, is always a little bit on your jawline and a little bit on your neck. That is my video on finding your undertone and matching your foundation. If you guys thought this video was helpful, please let me know. If I missed anything, if I left anything out, please leave a comment. Let me know what I missed or how I could improve this video content for the future. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would so kindly, please subscribe to my channel, because that helps me create more content, and I love interacting with people and just talking about makeup, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I'm not into the drama. I'm not into the tea. I want to talk about makeup. Is it good? Is it worth your money? Point blank. I am a consumer, and as my boyfriend calls me, I'm a consumerist. I love talking about makeup, and nobody in my friend zone or family wants to listen to me talk about makeup, which is why I created a YouTube channel to talk to all you beautiful people about makeup. So if you want to subscribe, please do. I'd love to have you here.